should I say first off? Hello, welcome to whomever the hell is actually watching this. I'm going to talk about GPUs for a little bit, specifically upcoming RDNA 2 stuff. There's nothing that I really have to say about Ampere yet anymore. I have my own opinions about them, but honestly, until we get exact specs on that, until we get exact benchmarks for the 3070, until we get a 3060 release, until we get some sort of concrete, it looks like it's going to be 20 gigabyte for the VRAM. But as long as we get a concrete I'm so brain dead right now. 3080 upgrade. Until we get all those, there's nothing I have to say. Between everything that's going on with them crashing due to the drivers need a little bit of an update. I mean, there's a driver update, but between everything that's going on, between the shortage, whether or not it's because of coronavirus or the stuff that NVIDIA is holding back, the false listing prices of those cards because the Founders Editions are not available. So you're stuck with an AIB unless you want to be paying scalping prices, which at this point you're paying scalping prices anyway. The underperforming for a 3090 as a gaming card should have been $1,200. You know, there's a couple of things that I don't want to go into that. This is where we're going to talk about the AMD stuff. Now I'm going to talk about leaks. There's a page here. I'm going to go over to it, talking about this the shaders and everything for which should be the upcoming 6700 to 6900 XT. So we're going to talk about that. If you don't want to hear about leaks, then just, I guess, move on, because that's what we're mostly talking about, because there's nothing we have else to go off of. Okay, so got two things going on here. So here are the supposed they call them XT. Whether or not you want to say that these are going to be XT variants or these are base clock models, this one's going to be more the 6900 XT, where these are all whatever. We're going to be looking, because we want to be talking about like the used market. What type of GPU what kind of GPU do you need? You know, as I've had this question asked to me personally from someone about upcoming GPUs and everything, and the advice I keep saying is like wait, because it's not even about the new GPUs. It's about the price point that they're going to set for the last generation on the used market. For those who don't know, NVIDIA has been in charge and have dictated price entirely. Their flagship went up from like 680, I believe, was the 1080 Ti, to around 1200 for the 2080 Ti, with like a 20%, with like an ampere level boost in performance. Maybe there's better stuff with the technology they're doing with ampere, and the ray tracing is a lot better than it was in the beginning. It's essentially actually, sorry, ampere is kind of like, because the 3080 was like a 30%. It was a similar increase, except the price went up dramatic, almost double. And I want to have this, first off, this misconception that NVIDIA lowered their prices, that's a good thing. NVIDIA lowering their prices for their flagships has nothing to do with NVIDIA. If you're watching anybody that wants to give NVIDIA credit for lowering their price for the 3070 and the 3080 being $500 and $700, for them being at such low and good value prices compared to the last release, NVIDIA doesn't get any praise for that. Actually, all of the praise, if there is any praise, if you're happy that prices are down but performance is still going up, if you're happy about that, then go thank AMD, because they're the only reason that NVIDIA isn't charging more than $1,000 or $1,000 for that 3080. You want to say thank you to NVIDIA for prices? Fuck you, NVIDIA. Fuck you for having a paper launches of your fucking GPUs. Thank you, NVIDIA, for having your listing price of the 2080 Ti last time, like what, $1,000? And you couldn't find them starting less than 1,200? Okay, maybe 11 if you're lucky, but NVIDIA does not deserve any praise for that at all. None whatsoever. If you want to give it, if you're looking at a YouTuber that's giving them praise, that somebody doesn't want to talk shit to NVIDIA, I have no problems. I already don't have money. What's NVIDIA going to do? Not send me a GPU? They're already not sending me. They're not paying me the test ones that they send reviewers. Their payment. They're essentially their payment for doing a review, because they're not doing a review for free. They're getting sent an item at an MSRP, getting to keep the item, doing a review on it, and then they can do whatever the fuck they want with the item. They're getting paid. So people who are gonna not praise, the people who are gonna praise NVIDIA for that and then not praise AMD for it are fucking retarded. People are also gonna dismiss this right here. Let me talk about this right here for a second. Let me pause real quick. All right, so I'm back. I just want to pull up prices for the 5700 XT. Oh, actually, there we go. My bad. I wanted to pull up prices for the 5500, 5600, 5700 XT. So let's talk about this. So from what we are getting from here, whatever the bottom level SKU for upcoming RDNA 2, which is tentatively named the 6700, whether you want to say it's the XT or not, nobody really fucking knows unless they've actually been shown the card with a name. I'm not a YouTuber that has any people telling them shit. So the bottom level is supposed to have it's supposed to, because of the way that the shaders are working, the way that people are explaining it, that this 6700 XT will essentially should be a ray traced version of the 5700 XT. That's very, very important. So this is why I can't have an opinion on ampere until we get the 3060. And if we're going to know if they're going to have a 3060 and the 3060 Ti, the TIs are just going to, they should piss everyone off, because NVIDIA should stop doing the TI bullshit. They should just make the best card they can and then let the AIBs make the rest. Why is it important that the 6700 XT is probably going to be like a ray trace version of the 5700 XT? The 5700 XT, around 2070s, like 2070 Super. It depends on what game you're doing. It's slightly, but it's around that performance level. Now, I get it. The drivers are different. There's GeForce experience, blah, blah, blah. I get it. There's differences. We're going to talk just about the performance. The 6700 XT should be around the performance of the 5700 XT, but with ray tracing. Possibly slightly higher. This is a really big thing. So look at this. This is 5700 XTs now. So if you're going to get this XFX, 409, power colors 379, we can go up to 439. They're all over the place. But just like a decent one that you can't say is there's no way it's not worth the price is the MSI gaming. All right. Oh my God. Wow. The Asus Dual maybe as well. But let's just go with the MSI. Where are you? You're up here, right? Yeah. 409. This is about what a new 5700 XT is. 400 to 450. That's a really, 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 really important detail. This bottom from the 6800 XT and up, I could give a shit right now. I know you're going to talk about, I said I was going to talk about the leaks. I'm not going to really be talking about the higher ones. I'm not going to be talking about them. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. I expect that the 6800 XT is going to be like 2080 Super, 6900 XT, 2080 Ti, and the 6970 XT. If those are all the names, but I'm just going off of these, that should be higher than the 3070, maybe lower than 3080. Let's just be realistic with those. Let's say that they're somewhere around there. Whoop-de-fucking-do. It doesn't matter right now. What matters is that 6700 XT SKU. So when we look at all of their other GPUs, their last ones that they had in 3 different price points, literally $100 up from each other. Now, am I saying that this is going to be 200, 300, 400, 500? No. No. Is there going to be probably a steady increase between them all? Yeah. I think they'll probably go with the $200 route of NVIDIA. But the 6700 XT, if it's their smallest SKU, is going to be the price setter. If there's only a $100 difference between a 68 and a 6700, I wouldn't be completely surprised. I think it's going to be $200 between all of them. But why do I have up the 5700 XT here on Amazon? Well, look at it from AMD's perspective. They're not going to. They know what position they're in. They need to upset NVIDIA's market. Like NVIDIA controls too much of the market, and they know they need to do that. They need to price things aggressively. The Ryzen 5000 CPUs will probably have a price increase. Not double. It won't be like the same price as Intel, but they'll probably have a price increase. If every SKU goes up like $50, I wouldn't be surprised. They no longer have competition there. They can dictate the price a little more. They're not going to dictate it so much that people won't actually buy the fucking CPUs and be like, nah, I'm good with my, whatever, my 3700 XT, my 3900, my 3900 XT. Oh, there is an XT. My 3700X, my 3900, my 3950, and people will be good if their prices go up too much. This is not the same scenario, though. And I actually don't know how much their prices are going to go up. I think there might be like maybe 10%. Because I'd be surprised if there is like an Athlon 4000 or 5000 G gold and it's more than like $70. I'd be surprised because it is what it is. AMD knows what they're doing. AMD's not fucking dumb. That's how they took over the market so quickly. That's how they're actually doing innovation and pricing competitively for what they have. So then you're like, well, then why the fuck does this matter? Well, the 5700 XT sits around 400 to 450. This is probably going to be the price point that I'd say maybe the 6800 XT is at. $500? Maybe $550? Yeah. But I don't see the 6700 XT launching for any more than 400. Any more. Honestly, I think it's going to probably be possibly 350, 550, 750, and 950. They probably could even go lower. I would not be surprised if this 6700 XT is 300, and then the price increases are 300. This matches the 3070, or this competes with the 3070. This is supposed to compete with the 3080, and this is supposed to be better. You know, because right now, if you want better than 3080, you need to pay $1,500 when it's in stock, when it's actually in stock, and then not Founders Edition. It's going to be more. So this SKU, the 6970 XT, is in a perfect position for the 6900 XT to compete or be a competitor with the 3080. And if it's not a competitor with the exact 3080, well, if this 6900 XT is released at $700 MSRP and it's actually in stock, and the AIB partners aren't going to all like have to be $50 more, I think we're good. I think that's all they need to do. They don't need to do anything else. they don't need to do as much as people say. I forget who it was. I think it was Jay's 2 cents. 'Cause I think I heard this from not an Apple fan. I think I heard this from Paul. That he said like in order to compete with the 3080, it needs to be like 275 or it's like 325% faster than the 5700 XTs. Something stupid. It doesn't. No, they all they have to have is a SKU that is essentially the 5700 XT with ray tracing for around 400. They'll be fine. If they literally went 4, 6, 8, 1,000, I think that's probably realistic. Now, but why is that important? I really don't see a 5700 XT, especially most of them are going to be used. I don't see a 5700 XT going for like more than 300. That's a really, really, really good deal. It's a really, really, really good deal. If you look at what NVIDIA has right now with the 1660 Super, I have a 1660 Super, not a TI. If you look at like the 1660, 1660 Super, 1660 Ti, they're all between $200 to $300. Right, once you get to 300, you're going to start getting to the 2060 territory. Although some other SKUs go up to like 350, close to 400 before they forget those. That's something in a price point. It doesn't really comfortably do 2K. The 5700 XT does 2K comfortably, pretty comfortably. It doesn't have ray tracing. Its drivers are better than they were. And everybody talks about, I have to say that people have had problems with drivers, but I've seen a ton of people been like, look, I've heard about the problems. I might have come up with something buggy once or twice, but I've never like personally had driver issues that everyone else has had. So I don't want to say it's a false narrative people are making up because they want it, because since it's not perfect and it's not NVIDIA that they have to bash it because otherwise they're not going to get free shit from NVIDIA, which there's truth to that. There are probably reviewers that don't want to piss off either the AIB partners or manufacturers, AMD or NVIDIA. They want that payment. They want that payment to free advertising for them. So I want this message to really be save for a GPU. If you're looking right now, save until November. It's 1 month essentially right now. What is it? The 29th? Yeah, 29th. So 1 month from now, it's going to be released. Like we're gonna know details, specs, date, price. We'll know everything. Then reviewers will probably 1 month to the day today. Reviewers will be coming out with their 6700, 6800, and 6900 XT benchmarks and everything. So don't get it. And I don't think NVIDIA has an answer for this. NVIDIA is kind of in a really, really tough spot. And there's another leak. I'm not gonna pull up multiple ones. I only want to have the one in case there are people who don't really want to see leaks, whatever. There's another one that had all the same information. It did have RDNA 2. It had that they were GDR6 instead of like this column. It was a different layout too. They were all laid out a little differently. It had memory, and the low 6700, the 6700 XT was supposed to have 10, and then the next one was supposed to have 12, I believe, for these ones, and then it was supposed to be up to 16 for the higher RDNA 2. Again, if we're saying that if this is supposed to compete with whatever they're going to have below the 3070, if it's a 5700 XT with ray tracing, it doesn't really need to, I'd say, compete with the 3060. Is there going to be one? Because a 3060 is going to be around a 2080 Super. How much is a 2080 Super at that point? How much is a 2080 First off, how much is a 2080 Ti if the 3070 actually is exactly what NVIDIA says? It's a 2080 Ti replacement. Then it has to sit around 450. because for $500 you can get a brand new, just better ray tracing version of that card. Very similar power consumption. It's not like the higher ampere models. 3070 has better power consumption, so does 3060, or should, apparently, because they're both going to have GDR6, GDR6X. Then where's the 3080 and 3080 Supersit? You know, if the 3060 is going to be like $350 and the 2080 Super is going to be, if it's the same amount, $300, because it's going to have worse ray tracing, then what's this going to be? The 6700 XT? I think this might be $300. 300, 500, 700, and 900. I really, really, really hoped that this would be 2468. I don't think so. I really don't think that they would have this top spec just $100 above the 3080. I could be wrong. This will probably be 1,000. So 4, 6, 8, and 10 are the more likely ones. This can change though. Now, may there be a spec smaller than the 6700 XT? Maybe a 6600 XT? A few months down the road? I don't want to, I want to assume that these are that they're only going to have 4 SKUs. I think that everyone should really wait until the second week in November. It's going to be the perfect time to get a GPU. Right when the consoles launch. It's going to be a perfect time to get it because everybody's going to be getting these because they're going to be actually in stock. And whatever, by the time everything else comes back in stock. I really doubt that anybody who, like, if you wanted a specific ampere model, you're probably not going to be getting it. And if you're like, oh, well, that was only because the 3080 was in such high demand, 3090 was in such low supply. It's like, yeah, but the 3070, it's the same thing. You know, there's going to have reviewers who are going to be getting them just to get them. You have people who have channels who aren't going to be getting them from NVIDIA or the AIP partners, who are then going to be buying them at that scalp prices, or the people who will go for the scalping. Oh, okay. You know, and you're going to have the miners. You're going to have the scalpers. They're probably going to have a certain release date. There's going to be limited stock. NVIDIA's going to pull the shit again. They're not going to learn. They're never going to learn. NVIDIA's like Apple. If NVIDIA could have charged you $1,000 for that 3070, they would have. That's truth be told. If AMD could get away with it, I'm sure they would charge an extreme of prices for their stuff. But I don't know. I don't know, because AMD looks like they're trying to completely take over the market. They don't care how long it takes. They don't care that they got to bide their time. They don't care that they're going to have products come out and people are going to be like, what's the point of this product? Or this wasn't released at the best time. They're going to go through all that. And in the end, they're going to take over the fucking market. So keep your stuff, because if we're looking at prices now, the 6700 XT cannot be $400. It can release through AMD for $399. It can. I think it's going to be $300 to $350. If we're looking at this, it's not supposed to replace the 5700. The 5700 XT was their top of the line. Now they have a new top of the line, the 6700 XT. Like, if they're like, hey, 6700 XT is essentially 5700 XT with ray tracing, then it's like, okay, well, now these are the ones with the ray tracing. If you want 2K or lower without ray tracing, then you have your 55, 56, 5700 XT. AMD's not going to like come out with new SKUs that are then going to be like 10%, 20% better than the previous model SKU. They're just going to make improvements. They're going to have vastly superior. So I think the 6700 XT doesn't replace the 5700 XT. It replaces the 5500 XT. I think that whatever is inside of here, whatever die is in the 5500 XT, is double to go into here. Probably double the performance of this is more likely what that has. 6800 XT, probably double performance of this. 6900 XT, probably double performance of this. And then you have whatever that 6970 XT. Fucking weird names. You know, so save your money. The used market's going to be really, really good. Especially for 5700 XTs. If you haven't had a 5700 XT, from anybody who's not a reviewer who already gets sent free gift cards anyway, gift graphics cards, for someone who's actually bought 5700 XTs, I've not heard such bad things. It's what I'll be picking up if the 6700 XT is too high of a price. I don't care about ray tracing. I'll just get whatever is good for the 2K. You know, really, would I get a new one? Probably for like the warranty and everything. Sure, yeah, I'll do an unboxing video, whatever the fuck, you know. But don't hold your breath for the 3060 yet. Don't go. Anybody who's wants to get ampere, here's a little ampere stuff at the end. Don't go buying ampere yet. Wait until Q1 for ampere. If you're going to be getting anything, get something used. Get something used that in a couple months, you don't want it, you can hawk it for a little bit less, and you had something that was better than what you had. It's really so important for you to get something. Don't get ampere though. Wait for them to be back in stock. Wait for AMD to essentially set the market where it's going to be price-wise. And then let ampere adjust. Because I think if they come out with a $400 3070 equivalent, $600 3080 equivalent, and a $700 or $800 16 gigabyte, supposed to be better than the 3080, I don't see NVIDIA keeping their prices like that. I see them doing $100 price drop. I can see the 3070 by end of Q1 2021 being $400. I can see it, especially if they're going to release, let's say, a 3060 for $350. I can see it being $300 at that point. That's where the 3060 is now. You know, $400 for a 3070. You can find a 3070 for around $400. I mean, it's gonna be used. This is what I mean. AMD is gonna dictate what the prices are gonna be. You know, NVIDIA has no choice. For the 3090, if you're in the market for the 3090, like that's what you need for work, maybe wait until you see what AMD has. You know, wait for the Quadros to come out. And probably better power consumption because they're not going to be GDR6X. You know, wait for that stuff. I don't think the 3080 and the 3090 are going to be worth the hype that they are. The 3080, yeah. Long term, probably yeah. But you know, they have all this stuff that's going on with the AIB partners not building on spec. So yeah, wait. And it's going to be a great time for PC gaming. People want to build a PC, have a PC. If you're in the market for PS5 or if you're in the market for an Xbox Series X, wait for these GPUs. Honestly, long term, this might actually be around the same price, slightly less expensive than an Xbox Series X. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a little bit today. I hope you guys are gonna stay home and just research and not buy into the bullshit NVIDIA's trying to give you. So yeah, have a nice day, guys, and I'll catch you next time.